Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I'm going to kind of be going over some different options for making gold in Legion. Now, I'm not going to say this is the most preemptive guide because I'm not going to delve too much into the auction house add-ons because I know a lot of people don't want to use them, and the people who already use them already know how to make gold with the auction house. So I'm sorry to the few people that might not overlap into those categories, but I'm going to kind of shy away from that and just mention that that is probably the best way. So I'm going to just kind of go over a few ideas or different ways you could be making gold in Legion. This is very poignant with the being able to buy Battle.net tokens and use their currency for other Blizzard stuff. For example, I bought Overwatch with Wild Gold, which was really nice because I got to test it out basically without having to pay for the game with real money. So that being said, let's kind of go into the different ways. The easiest way that I would suggest for you, if you don't mind leveling, is to level alts up to 110 and focus while leveling on getting your followers up to max level and then giving them all the armor and stuff to get them to max item level and do the gold quests. So why is this important? Well, if you have the correct, basically what you're going to want to focus on is the items, the equipment items that increase success for missions that last longer than 8 hours, because most of the gold missions are more than 8 hours. There are a couple that are shorter than 8 hours that you might not get the bonus on, uh, but you probably will still be at like 150%, so you have a 50-50 shot of getting the bonus. But you want to focus your followers with the items that increase success chance over 8 hours for the gold missions. Now, I only have 3 110s. I wish I had more for this method because basically, casually speaking, you could probably make 6,000 gold a day just from sending out your followers if you have 3 110s like me. You could probably do a little bit more with luck, but a general estimate would be 6,000 gold a day. So I'll expand that over a month. So that's 18 or 180,000. Is that right? Yeah, that's 180,000 gold a month. Just from doing follower missions, if you can keep up with them. What's nice is you can send them out on the phone app as well, so you don't even have to actually sign on to do it. Um, I was doing that for a while when I was kind of really busy at home. I was sending out, making sure I sent the gold missions out on my phone app, so I was still making a little bit of gold. Now, of course, you're not going to get rich doing this by any means. Obviously, if you just love to level for whatever reason, or you're on a PvE server where it's really easier to level, and that's just what you're into, if you have all 110s and you have all your followers up, then you can make a lot more gold with just basically the same amount of effort, especially if you're doing it from the phone app. You could make even more gold. So you could probably make upwards to 400,000 or 500,000 if you have all your characters at 110. So that's one way to make gold, and that's just the very casual way to make gold, where you don't have to sign on a lot and put a lot of work into it. The next thing I'll just mention, just to mention it, is the auction house. So I'll mention there's add-ons like auctionator and auctioneer. You can look into those on the Curse site if you like. I can even throw a link into the description below. You can look into those, and those will help you make gold. That requires basically you just kind of learning the market, more of a scholarly approach, I suppose, but it's also probably the way that you can make the most gold. I will say you kind of have to have gold already to really make gold with this method because basically you're buying things that are underpriced and selling them for market value. So you're kind of like, you're not making a ton of profit per sale, but you're doing a bunch of sales, if that makes sense. If you see somebody that has all of the fell slate in the auction house, it's probably because they bought it all for a cheaper price and then are reestablishing the market price. So that's just the gist of it. I'm not going to get too far into it. It's not something that I even like to do because it feels almost too much like work to do it, but some people do enjoy it. So if you really like economy and learning markets and stuff, you might actually enjoy it. So that's just mentioning the auction house thing without, because you could do an entire video on how to use the auction house add-ons. So the next thing I will talk about is just farming in general. So me personally, I found that farming on my server, and again, you do have to know the market a little bit. Farming fell slate's a very profitable endeavor on my server, especially for how easy it is, at least for me. A PvP server actually plays into my benefit a little bit because I only have to worry about alliance then. So basically, I farm fell slate with the fell slate basilisk and Suramar. because of my gear level, and a lot of people who have my high-end gear, for whatever reason, don't seem to be farming. So it's, or they farm on their alt, for example. And so I able to kill any opposing faction people that might be trying to do the same thing. Then I only have to contend with my own faction. My own faction isn't very big on my server, so a lot of times I get the place to myself. Now, that being said, I could probably make about 16,000 gold if I were to do this for an hour straight. Maybe more. I've never done it for an hour straight, to be honest. I usually just, if I am farming, I just farm 200, throw on the auction house for 8,000 gold, and get my 8,000 gold. It's a very moving price on my server. Sometimes it sells for as much as 9,000 gold for 200. So that's one way to do it, is farming things. So other thing you want to look also at, what else can I farm? What else can I farm that is better per unit than fell slate or whatever? So maybe it's foxflower, maybe it's leather. I doubt it's going to be leather, but you know, it's most likely going to be a mining material or a herbalizing material based on how the professions currently work, because you need the herb material for inscription, for alchemy. You need the mining material for jewel crafting, blacksmithing, and so those are kind of the things that you're going to probably want to look into the most. But don't hesitate in exploring other markets as well. And just farming those things can be quite profitable. Now, let's expand the farming idea. So this might require you to have other alts at 110, or just having the correct professions on your main character. So you and basically is just using professions. So what can be said is, in general, if you have average luck, so you're just the average, prospecting that same 200 fell slate would give me gems that, if cut, would then sell for more than the fell slate would. So I would need a jewel crafter, which I do happen to have. However, I don't have the best of luck with my prospecting. So for me personally, unless I farmed a massive amount, it's actually, and where the law of averages would kick in, it's actually just easier for me just to sell the fell slate. But if you did prospect it, at least again on my server, it would be more profitable to prospect and sell the gems that you would get out of that. So that's kind of using professions. The same can be said with herbalizing. So inscription, Vantis runes are very profitable items because people, the entire, usually if one person buys it, everyone in your guild's going to buy it for a fight. Obviously, these are most profitable when something first comes out. As it's out for longer and longer, they're going to become less profitable, but they'll also be less on the market. So sometimes you can still make gold with those. Again, that's using herbs then to make the Vantis runes. Also, with alchemy, alchemy's always in style because people are always going to be using flasks and they're always going to be using the potions. And on my server personally, the potions are a pretty good moneymaker. However, the market is a little bit flooded, so it's not always the best idea to make a massive amount of gold, because you can't put 200 of them like you can put 200 fell slate on the auction house. You won't sell because by the time someone buys a couple of yours, someone will have undercut you already. And those are the kind of things you have to look out for. So we have farming, we have farming materials with professions, we have the auction house. Another option, it is viable. It's not. So let's say you don't like the auction house, you don't want to think about that at all. What you can do in Legion is with the shoulder enchants. Now you're going to want to see what is the most profitable shoulder enchant now, so you will have to do a little bit of work. But there's the gem finding shoulder enchant that could be pretty profitable because, again, it's like kind of selling the false slate. Then you have the Blood Hunter's Quarry, which gives you Blood of Sargeras, which you can then buy materials with. So you'd want to see, are any of those materials that I can buy with bloods going to be worth selling? So that could be an option as well. And what you want to do then is take a character that's either tanky or very high damage, preferably with some mobility as well, and go farm. Any humanoid will do in Legion, but what you're going to do is you're going to find one that's not currently a world quest. And so an example is there's a couple places in Azuna. So there's the Murloc place in Azuna where all the Murlocs are, and there's a few Naga there. And then there's the pirates in Azuna. Now what you can do is you can just roll through there if you have enough gear and kill these things very, very quickly and annihilate the entire place. The Murlocs in particular, regardless of zone, seem to respond very fast. So what you can do is you can farm these, and you're looting everything. So you're looting the gold, and you're looting the greens, and you're looting everything you get. Now, the most efficient way would be then to disenchant the greens and sell the dust. But if you can't do that, you can just sell the greens, sell everything. The shoulder enchant then will be what you're really relying on to make your gold. Now, um, you can definitely make thousands and thousands of gold an hour doing this. Um, but it's not the most efficient way to do it. But it is something you can do, and also you can kind of double team it with like if you have to kill certain mobs for a artifact appearance or for something else. You can kind of double up if you really wanted to, or you could just do it when there is a world quest to get the world quest done. But that obviously you're going to want to kill it multiple times. So I'm not. And the world quest thing, I would stay away when it's world quest because then you're going to be fighting with other people for it. Those are just some of the ways to make gold. There are more. Those are the ones that I use personally, though, so I don't want to talk out of turn about things that I don't really know about. Those are all things that I've tried in Legion. I will say for me personally, the most successful thing is just farming Fell Slate, but that's because it goes so well and so quickly on my server, and because of the fact that I can kind of control the farming area for it, at least to an extent. So, yeah. Good luck to everyone else. Feel free to share your own gold strategies or what you like to farm. That would be interesting to see. And everyone have a good one. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Thumbs up and sub as always. Also comment below, share the videos. Appreciate it so much. You can also check me out at Twitter at WowGamingInc. And at Twitch with the tag name Kneecap Killa. So everyone have a good one and see you again soon.